Oh, you already here? Perfect timing. Jane's been eager to dive into today's research paper discussion on DeepSeek-R1. Let's see how deep we go in this episode of Deep Dive Podcast with Jimmy and Jane.
Welcome to the very first deep dive, where we're going to extract the most interesting and important insights from your sources. I'm Jimmy, by the way, and I love learning new things and sharing those fascinating facts.
And I'm Jane, and I love taking all those fascinating pieces of information and kind of connecting the dots and finding out why things matter.
I love that.
Yeah.
So today's deep dive is about DeepSeek-R1, and it's a new type of AI model that we're going to be learning about based on the research paper that you sent. Large language models, or LLMs, are evolving at an incredible pace right now.
Yeah.
There are new ones coming out every day, it seems like. And post-training techniques are becoming key to enhancing their abilities. Basically, the AIs are trying to get smarter than us. But we'll try and keep ahead of the game here. So let's jump right into it. What's the big deal with reasoning in AI anyway?
Yeah, that's a great question. So LLMs are already really good at mimicking human language.
Yeah.
Like writing poems, having conversations, that kind of thing. But
Yeah.
they often struggle with tasks that require complex reasoning, like solving math problems or writing code. And this really limits their usefulness in a lot of areas.
So it's like they can talk the talk, but they can't walk the walk.
Exactly.
Okay, so I see in the paper that the DeepSeek researchers explored two main approaches to make AI better at reasoning: reinforcement learning and distillation.
Right.
Let's start with reinforcement learning, or RL, because this is where things get really interesting with a model called DeepSeek-R1. So DeepSeek-R1 learns purely through RL with no human labeled data whatsoever,
That's right.
which is amazing. And what's even crazier is that this model actually started showing signs of self-reflection.
I know. Isn't that fascinating?
I know, like during the training process, they actually found it using phrases like, wait, that's an aha moment I can flag here,
Mhm.
in its responses.
It's like it was having those light bulb moments that we experience as humans when we suddenly grasp a new concept.
That is mind-blowing. So how does RL actually work? Like, how do you teach an AI to reason without giving it any direct instructions?
So it's kind of like training a dog with treats. You reward the dog for good behavior,
Right.
and it learns what actions to do to get those tasty rewards.
Okay, I'm with you.
Similarly, in RL, the AI gets a task and a reward for getting closer to the right answer. Through trial and error, it learns to reason its way to success.
So it's like the AI is playing a giant game of hot or cold,
Right.
trying to find the right answer by getting feedback along the way.
That's a great analogy.
So DeepSeek-R1 was clearly a huge step forward. But were there any limitations with this approach?
Yeah. So, while R10 was really promising, it did have some issues, like producing really messy and hard to read responses.
Oh, so it's kind of a messy genius then. Full of great ideas, but not always able to express them clearly.
Exactly. And that's where DeepSeek-R1 comes in. So the researchers realized that they needed to refine this raw potential. So they used a small set of cold start data, essentially giving R1 some structured examples to learn from before setting it loose with RL.
So they helped it organize its thoughts a bit.
Exactly.
Did this cleanup process affect how well DeepSeek-R1 could reason?
Oh, absolutely. This combination of RL and a bit of initial guidance led to DeepSeek-R1 producing much clearer and more structured responses. It's like that genius now had a way to communicate their ideas in a way that everyone could understand.
That's fantastic. So they have this powerful AI that can reason well and explain itself clearly. What did they do next? Put it to the test.
Absolutely. They wanted to see how it stacked up against other top AI models, and the results were really impressive.
Okay.
DeepSeek-R1 went head-to-head with models like OpenAI's O1-1217 on various reasoning tasks, including complex math problems, coding challenges, and general knowledge tests.
Oh, wow. So it was competing against some of the heavy hitters in the AI world. How did it do?
It actually held its own remarkably well. For instance, on a challenging math competition called AM 2024, DeepSeek-R1 achieved a pass rate of almost 80%, even slightly outperforming O1-1217 in some areas.
Wow.
And on a coding platform called Codeforces, its performance put it ahead of over 96% of human participants.
Those are some serious bragging rights. It sounds like DeepSeek-R1 can tackle some pretty tough challenges. But the researchers didn't stop there, did they?
You're right, they didn't. They took things a step further with a technique called distillation. It's a way to take the knowledge from a large, complex AI model, like DeepSeek-R1, and transfer it to a smaller, more efficient one.
Interesting. So it's like teaching a student the key concepts from a textbook
Hmm.
instead of making them read the whole thing.
That's a great way to put it. And what's fascinating is that they found that simply feeding the output of DeepSeek-R1 to smaller models made them significantly better at reasoning, without the need for extensive retraining.
So they essentially gave these smaller AI models a shortcut to reasoning power. That seems incredibly efficient. What are the implications of that kind of knowledge transfer?
It's potentially revolutionary. It means we could have powerful AI reasoning capabilities running on devices like our phones and laptops, without requiring massive computing power. Imagine having a personal AI assistant that can help you solve complex problems on the go.
That's an amazing thought. It's like having a pocket-sized Einstein at your fingertips. But this all sounds a little too good to be true. Are there any limitations or challenges with DeepSeek R1 that we should be aware of?
You're right, no AI model is perfect. One thing the researchers noted is that DeepSeek R1 can be sensitive to how questions or tasks are phrased. It needs clear and specific instructions to perform at its best.
So it's a bit like a brilliant detective who needs all the clues laid out in a logical order before they can crack the case.
Precisely. Another limitation is that it's currently focused on English and Chinese languages, which could limit its application in other parts of the world.
Okay, those are definitely important things to consider. But even with those limitations, DeepSeek R1 seems like a major step forward in AI research. Where do the researchers plan to go from here? What's next on the horizon?
Well, they outlined some exciting future directions, including improving DeepSeek R1's performance in software engineering tasks. Imagine an AI that could help developers write better code, identify bugs, and even suggest new solutions.
That would be incredible.
That could revolutionize the software development
Yeah,
process.
it sounds like DeepSeek R1 has the potential to change the world in some pretty significant ways.
Yeah.
Before we wrap things up for this part of the deep dive, is there anything that particularly stood out to you about DeepSeek R1?
For me, it's the potential of distillation that's truly mind blowing. The idea that we can take these incredibly complex AI models and make their reasoning abilities accessible to everyone, even without access to massive computing power, is a game changer. It could democratize access to advanced AI and unlock a world of possibilities.
I completely agree. It's like giving everyone the tools to think more critically and solve problems more effectively. But it also raises some interesting questions. If we have this kind of AI power readily available, how do we ensure it's used responsibly and ethically?
That's a crucial point. As AI becomes more powerful and accessible, we need to be thoughtful about its development and application. We need to make sure it's aligned with human values and used for the betterment of society. Welcome back to the deep dive, where we've been unpacking this remarkable DeepSeek R1 and its potential to, reshape how we think about AI reasoning.
It's been quite a journey. We've explored the technical nuts and bolts, the impressive results, and even, some of the challenges that lie ahead. But now I think it's time to kind of zoom out and consider the bigger picture.
Yeah.
If AI can reason like us, what does that really mean for humanity?
That is the question that has everyone buzzing. It sparked so many debates and predictions, with some, picturing a future where AI surpasses human intellect, and others envisioning a powerful collaboration between humans and machines.
It definitely feels like we're stepping into uncharted territory here, full of possibilities and potential pitfalls. What are some of the key things we should be thinking about as we navigate this new landscape?
Well, one thing that really stands out is the need to ensure that AI's development aligns with our values. We need to instill in it the qualities that make us human: empathy, creativity, a sense of ethics. It's like raising a child. You want to nurture its potential while also guiding it towards making responsible and ethical choices.
That's a powerful analogy. It really highlights the importance of not just focusing on what AI can do, but also on what it should do. What are some concrete steps we can take to ensure AI is used for good?
Well, transparency is crucial. We need to understand how these models work, how they make decisions, and what data they're trained on. This will help us identify and mitigate potential biases or unintended consequences.
So it's about lifting the hood and making sure the inner workings of AI are open to scrutiny.
Exactly. And it's also about involving diverse voices in the development process. We need to make sure AI represents the values and perspectives of all of humanity, not just a select few.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It's about ensuring that AI serves everyone, not just a privileged group. It's also about fostering collaboration between AI experts, ethicists, policymakers, and the public.
Absolutely. And that brings us back to DeepSeek R1. One of the things that makes this research so exciting is its potential to democratize access to advanced AI reasoning. The ability to transfer this knowledge to smaller, more affordable models could empower individuals and communities around the world.
That's a game changer. Imagine a world where students in under-resourced schools have access to AI tutors that can help them learn more effectively, or where small businesses can leverage AI to analyze data and make smarter decisions.
Those are just a few examples of the transformative potential of accessible AI. It could level the playing field and create new opportunities for innovation and progress, but it also underscores the importance of ethical considerations.
Right? Because with greater access comes greater responsibility. We need to be mindful of how this technology is used and ensure it doesn't exacerbate existing inequalities or create new ones.
You're absolutely right. We need to be proactive in anticipating and addressing potential risks, from bias in algorithms to the misuse of AI for malicious purposes.
It's a complex landscape to navigate, but one that's full of potential. I'm curious, as we wrap up our deep dive into DeepSeek-R1, what are your biggest takeaways from this research? What has you most excited and what gives you pause?
You know what excites me most is the sheer ingenuity of this research. The way the researchers combined RL with cold start data and then used distillation to spread that knowledge is truly remarkable. It opens up a world of possibilities for making AI more accessible and impactful. What gives me pause, however, is the speed at which this technology is advancing. We need to make sure our ethical frameworks and societal structures can keep pace with these rapid developments.
That's a great point. It's easy to get caught up in the excitement of new technology, but we can't lose sight of the human element. AI is a powerful tool, but it's ultimately up to us to decide how we use it and what kind of future we want to build.
Precisely. And that's why conversations like this are so important. We need to keep exploring these complex issues, asking tough questions, and engaging in thoughtful dialogue about the role of AI in our lives.
I couldn't agree more. To our listener, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into DeepSeek R1. We hope it sparked your curiosity and given you a glimpse into the fascinating and sometimes daunting world of AI reasoning. As AI continues to evolve, your insights and perspectives will be more important than ever. So keep asking questions, keep learning, and keep the conversation going. We'll be back soon with another deep dive into a new and exciting topic. Until then, stay curious.